All right, so we are messing with a 2010 Subaru Forester. We are doing a clutch kit. All the parts supplied coming straight from Subaru. Customers concerned. The reason why we're doing it is the clutch bearing is making a little bit of noise when it's cold, so a whining noise when it's cold. After she drives it for about 2 or 3 minutes, it goes away. Had it up in lift a couple weeks ago, diagnosed it. Sounds like the release bearing in there is going bad. So basically those bearings are sealed, and over time that grease hardens up and creates a whining noise, which indicates the bearings inside are going bad. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. We're also going to replace the flywheel. Anytime you're replacing a clutch disc or the pressure plate, always replace or resurface the flywheel. The reason why is to prevent cracking or any kind of warpage that can occur. So we're going to go ahead and get this process started. We got to get the dust shield down. We got to get the tires off so we can get the CV axles out of the transmission, get the drive shaft out, and all the mounts. So we'll go ahead and get you in time lapse and start this process. Alright, so I went ahead and removed the shield as well as the front 2 tires. That way I can get the strut bolts loosened up and push the CV axle out. But I'm going to go ahead and start working on the drive shaft, getting that out of the way. So we'll go ahead and get you in time lapse and try to get this drive shaft in a position where I can at least get it somewhat removed. So here we go. Okay, so what I did was, once I got the center support out of the way, I was able to lift it up above the differential and slide it back enough, and then it kind of came right out from the side. So that's just how I did it here. I think the manufacturer tells you to remove the exhaust, but it can be done without removing the exhaust. Before you remove this mount, the brace, make sure you support the transmission, because that is the transmission mount right there, and that plate that we just took off, make sure you support it. Whether you're doing it on your back or on a lift, make sure that's supported. So now we will go ahead and get the shifter out of the way and start working on this some more. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the ABS sensor off. I'm probably gonna leave it connected there and just take it off of the knuckle here in here, and then take the strut bolts out. So we'll go ahead and get you in time lapse and show you the process. Okay, since we got everything loosened up already with the strut, it was just taking this 32 millimeter nut off. It is a crush style, so you basically notch it to sit it to the CV axle shaft to prevent it from turning loose. So once that comes through, we'll go ahead and show you on this side the process. So let me get the camera set up, so give me just a second. All right, so 32 millimeter. All right, then we're gonna go to this axle. Okay, so we got the struts and all that loose. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this CV axle. And we're just sticking a pry bar in here, trying to find a good spot. Oh, that may work. Yep, that took it. All right, so I know we're gonna lose some fluid, so let's get a drain pan under there and all right, then in this axle and do the same thing, a little pry bar. Just pry it out just a little. Make sure you're free on the side and just kind of work it out. All right, so there's removing the CV axle. All right, so we got transmission out. So here's the release spring. You can hear that thing making some noise in there. So we're gonna replace that for sure. And then the clutch assembly. So it'll come out in pieces. So let me get a step stool and go ahead and start disassembling this. Okay, so we got the flywheel, clutch plate, pressure plate swapped over. Because this kit we bought directly from Subaru, it did not come with the tool. So this is a universal tool, and I'll show it to you fully here in just a second. But basically, I took a clutch alignment tool for another vehicle that fits the splines perfectly and hollowed it out to allow that to go in and just basically lines up. It's not the exact one, but it does line up pretty well from what I can see. So we went ahead and swapped everything over, retightened all the bolts once we got everything over. So that's the alignment process. So this goes in. What we're gonna do, I'll go ahead. So it goes in, and then okay. Yeah. So that is the alignment process. And then once you get everything set in there, the alignment tool in, tighten the bolts, offset them, do a star pattern if possible. That way you're not putting torque on one specific section. Yeah, there we go. right, so we got the bottom end all done. Got the drive shaft, all the heat shields, the exhaust put back in place. Only thing I have not done is the CV axles in the front. I'm gonna lower it down where I'm able to stand without being on a ladder. I got the upper torque mount reinstalled. I gotta tighten it when I get up top. Same way with the slave cylinder. Got all the bolts nice and tight down here. So the next step is to put the CV axles in and then check the dipstick and fill it with fluid that we lost. Lower it down, get the CV axles installed, and get you in time lapse for that. All right, so we got the connectors up here redone, reconnected. Make sure the mounts, everything's back in place. We took the air box out, make sure that's back on. Then we got the slave cylinder here reconnected, set in place. I got the torque mount done and reconnected the battery. So on this process, basically what you want to do is, once everything is done, your fluid levels checked, start the vehicle up, run it through gear, which I'll show you, and I'll explain a little bit more. So once that's done, then you go out with the parking brake on, release the clutch in gear, and it should, RPM should start to drop or stall depending on how quick you release the clutch. So that is the process there. So now that we got all this buttoned up, let's check it out. All right, so we got the engine started. We're gonna run it through every gear, make sure every gear is good, make sure reverse locks in. It does. So right now I've got it in reverse, parking brake on, and we can actually see the engine RPM, and it starts to, well, actually it didn't move because the vehicle moved because of, let me get my other foot in here with the brake. And we can see that RPM drop and stall. So clutch is done, got it started back up, make sure it shifts every gear. Engine RPM drops, that was reverse. So we are good to go.